pleased to present for your consideration.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Jabberbox Podcast, episode 30. I'm one of your hosts, Andy Bond, and with me are the icy blues of the desert, the former devil himself, Mr. Daniel Singleton. What's going on, Dan?
Hey there, hi there, ho there.
If you're joining in for the very first time, then you should know that this show is about the two of us as we ramble on through pop culture topics such as, but not limited to, games, movies, shows, and whatever else we want to jabber about. You can get the show over on YouTube by searching Dandy Digital or Jabberbox Podcast, and over on Spotify or your favorite podcast service by searching Jabberbox and hitting that subscribe button, that like button, and that review button. If you like what you hear and want to be part of the show, head on over to patreon.com/dandydigital. Some housekeeping for you for this particular episode. There was a large, about 45 minutes of Nintendo's what is it? The Nintendo Direct. Yeah, that happened. So we'll be primarily going into that. There's some PlayStation news, some movie news. So we will get into that. Just as a heads up, that's what this episode's going to be about. But in the meantime, Dan, how the hell are you?
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm stoked. You know, my week's been a little iffy here and there because I'm getting lost in my days. Right? I thought today was Friday yesterday. And so it's just been kind of a jumble, but nothing bad. So yeah, that's good.
When you lose track of time and days like that, it's usually a good thing.
It can be. Unless you're like, man, it's Friday. Oh, no, wait, it's Tuesday.
Yeah, the only time I normally do that is when I'm like on vacation and I'm not at home and we're out doing cool stuff. That's when I lose track of time. So I associate it in my head with good times.
That's good. That is good. I will say that with the good times, I had some good food. And by good food,
tell me more.
I mean good Crumble cookies. Actually, not just cookies. All right. Good sweets. Right. So before we get into Crumble, Little Debbie has come out with some ice cream. Have you seen that at all?
I have not. This is the first I'm hearing.
So it was brought to my attention from my sister. She sent me a text message. I don't even remember when. Last week sometime. And it was at Walmart. She was at Walmart and she sent me a picture of the ice cream aisle. And there's little pints of Little Debbie snack cake ice creams. So they have the oatmeal cream pie, the Swiss rolls, strawberry shortcake, cosmic brownies, honey buns, nutty bars, and zebra cakes. Because they're only pints, I actually picked up a couple this past weekend. I picked up the oatmeal cream pie, which was like a vanilla ice cream with the aftertaste of oatmeal cream pie. I actually pretty liked it. It was subtle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I tried the nutty bars ice cream, and that one has more of that kick you in the mouth, like this is a nutty bar. So you got the chocolate swirls, but you also got the wafers in there. That was really good. So I was very pumped about that, and I think I'm going to be going back. I don't know which one I want to get next. I might do the Swiss rolls and maybe the zebra cake.
That all sounds amazing to me. And yeah, I'm going to have to keep an eye out. Yeah. I have started, now that I'm feeling better, I have started fasting again. So like right now, today, I'm fasting. So I ate last night. I'm not going to eat tonight. I'll eat tomorrow. I'll take another day off. Then I'll eat for the Super Bowl. And then I'm going to roll into 72s again.
Hell yeah. Awesome, man. That's good that you're feeling better and good that you're getting back on track on that kind of stuff. I need to get into training because I'm going to be doing the Rugged Maniac race here in April.
Have fun with that. Yeah, I was supposed to do that back in November, but then I ended up having to go to a funeral, and they don't refund. They don't allow you to transfer your tickets, so it was just wasted money. Fucking awesome, right?
Well, life events get in the way.
Yeah, well. So it was more important to make sure that my grandma was dead than like I needed to go confirm that. So,
right. So you could say it was worth it.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a good trade. I'll say that.
All right, man. So for Crumble, this week was actually a light week. again, which
same.
I'm all for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it gives the ability to like dial back on the sugar a bit.
Which was inevitable, and it's kind of what I was looking forward to. Now, they did have a couple new ones: hazelnut churro, cake batter blondie, and vanilla sugar, which I still count as sugar, so I didn't actually get that one because I don't need vanilla frosting on there. But they did have a returning Buckeye brownie, which wasn't technically on my top 10, but I did get that one because I do like the melted chocolate and peanut butter combo quite a bit.
Yeah,
and then
I'm in
s'mores. Yeah, and s'mores, that hit my like 51. It was my 51st on the list. I was like, I could skip that one.
I did the exact same thing, except I did try the vanilla sugar because it's different. I've tried all the different variations of sugar they've done so far with like they did that shark sugar, they did the watermelon sugar. So I was like, well, that's a new one. I'm putting it on the list. So I did.
No, I mean technically it is a new one. So what did you think?
So it just hit middle of the pack. It was very good, but it was a sugar. It was, it's a vanilla sugar cookie.
Right.
No muss, no fuss, straight up the middle. Here's a cookie. It's good, but it's not anything that I would go out of my way to get again.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, when I see like vanilla sugar or sugar with whatever variation, I got the gist of it just based on the sugar cookie and then probably whatever gummy or cookie you put on there. So I pretty much rank all sugar cookies on the same number. I don't give them their different ones. And that could be unfair to the particular cookie, I guess. But I don't see the point of grabbing that particular cookie when it isn't way out of the ordinary,
Sure. Well, yeah, and I've gone out of my way to evaluate each cookie on its own merits. Like I have two different rankings for dulce de leche based on how they put the icing on the top. So one's the swirl and one's the dollop. Like those got different rankings.
Right.
They're 1 and 2 overall, so it's not like they're far off. But I did go through the effort of because they did taste different. There's a different mixture of icing versus caramel.
Right.
And so it does taste slightly different. So
makes sense.
In my head, it makes sense. And it gives me an excuse to have my favorite cookie.
Yeah, right. I mean, it doesn't matter it doesn't matter if you did a swirl or a dollop. If you come out with that particular cookie, I'm going for it. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
So really, I had the hazelnut churro and the cake batter blondie. Those were the two new cookies for my listing. What did you think of those? We'll start off with the hazelnut.
So I feel like, and this is kind of the story. I know you want to start with hazelnut here. I have the same opinion for both the cake batter blondie and the hazelnut churro here, where the sum of its parts was less than the whole.
Okay.
Like each individual component was really awesome, but for some reason they just didn't quite line up right on my tongue. There was something slightly off about both of them. That they were good, and I would maybe get the hazelnut churro again, depending on what it's paired with. Whatever else is coming out that week in the future, maybe. Only because I might need to round out like my 4-count box, right?
Right.
But it wasn't anything fantastic to me. And it came in number 50 overall, the hazelnut.
Wow. Okay. I feel like both of the cookies this week came in pretty high, top 20 at least. 17 was cake batter blondie and then hazelnut churro. I do feel like while hazelnut churro was really good, I kind of wanted a little bit more hazelnut filling. I wish there was a little bit more of that. It seemed more centralized than like say the York cookie. Yeah, it was kind of throughout, but it was still, I really like hazelnut and churro. So it still held a high ranking.
And for those listening, the hazelnut wasn't like chopped up hazelnuts. It was more like a Nutella hazelnut spread that was inside.
Yeah, that was inside the cookie itself. The cake batter blondie surprised me. It looked, I thought, okay, sugar cookie with sprinkles. It's got the white chocolate chips. You know what I mean? nothing super crazy. I felt like it was going to hit the bottom, but it was pretty solid. It reminded me of those cookies that you get like at the grocery store, right? Those really super soft sugar cookies with the thick frosting, but the cookie itself is thick, and if you take too big of a bite, you kind of like, it's not crunchy or anything. It's really soft, so you like get stuck in your mouth, like the roof of your mouth. You know what I'm talking about? Like
for sure.
Okay, so it's those, but it didn't have the overpowering super soft frosting that those ones has. So this was really nice. Plus the sprinkles gave it that crunch that it needed inside the soft cookie. So I was pleasantly surprised on that one.
Yeah, I will say that the cake batter taste was on point. Like it was exactly what it should have tasted like.
Yeah.
And I thought the sprinkles around the edge gave a nice like texture difference. They were nice and crunchy. They weren't just like in the cookie and kind of a little bit soggy from absorbing those wet ingredients before it was baked.
Right.
So it gave it that nice crunch. And then the white chocolate chips, there was a lot of them in there, and it gave it a real nice creamy texture toward the center and in the cookie itself. So that was really nice. But again, I don't know. It just didn't line up in my mouth quite right. I don't know. Maybe it's that lingering COVID on the tongue, on the taste buds.
I mean, I was thinking about it when you were talking about it. I was like, yeah, that could be it. But we'll see. I mean, if they come out with like another dulce de leche and you taste it and you're like, this doesn't taste good, that might be it.
It could be, but I haven't had that issue with anything else.
Yeah.
So
maybe it's like one of those things. I mean, it affects you differently. So it could be that it affects your sugar type taste buds. You know what I mean? Like your palate's now changed to be a more salty type guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I have like I said though, I haven't had that issue with any other even sweet stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
And I never lost my sense of taste or smell more than my normal loss of or diminished sense of taste and smell from my injury in general. So it didn't get any worse. So COVID didn't really. I did not have that side effect of COVID. So I'm not sure if that's what it is or not, but I guess it could be.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it might be something to keep in the back of your mind when you get the new cookies and see if that's, something that's pops up, or even particularly if you get like a duplicate cookie that ranks high, and see how it goes comparatively.
Could be worth a shot.
Right? Could be worth a test in the name of science,
I'll publish my findings and let you know.
Awesome.
After it's peer reviewed, of course.
Oh, of course. Cool. So what else has been going on?
Oh, well, with life in general and current events, Russia and Belarus just kicked off a large-scale joint military exercise. So a lot of people are freaked out about that. It has involved a lot of Russian warships moving into the area. And the big concern is that obviously there's a lot of tension with Russia wanting to invade Ukraine and that whole mess. And Belarus has publicly said that if it came down to it, they would side with Russia.
Right.
And Belarus is right next to Ukraine. So a lot of people are worried about them joining forces, so to speak, and preparing to invade. And they're just using these exercises as a cover because there's a lot of hardware moving around over in that area.
That's true. It's like, yeah, we're just playing around. Just kidding. And we're here to fucking take you over.
Yeah. Because there's precedent for that kind of behavior. Especially in Eastern Europe.
Okay, so speaking from complete ignorance in political and these types of issues, what kind of early things would you start to see if that was the case, if they were actually invading?
I mean, it's kind of hard to say. They could just storm across if they wanted to. There's going to be a lot of pushback and punishment and response if that happens. But I would suspect, I'm by no means any expert, but I would suspect that they would preface any actual ground invasion with cyber attacks to weaken infrastructure or military targets or political targets. That would be my guess. I'd be very shocked if they weren't already doing things like that.
Is this something that would be like the start of a world war, or is it just kind of like another war campaign amongst a handful of countries.
I mean, World War I and World War II kind of snowballed very quickly. So, I mean, it has the makings and potential. But of course, that's the same with any conflict, right? Like Korea could have turned into that. Vietnam, Desert Storm could have, but Afghanistan definitely could have. But none of them ever did. So I'm not saying it won't. I'm just saying, who knows? It could very easily, especially given the people involved and the location and all that kind of jazz.
Right.
There's definitely a history there.
I see the article link that you put in our doc or whatever. And it does say the exercises are due. This is on ABC News. The exercises are due to end on February 20th, and the Kremlin has said its troops will leave Belarus then. So that's going to be a pretty tense next 10 days. Are they going to
leave Belarus and go back to Russia, or are they going to leave Belarus and go into Ukraine?
Right.
Like they're leaving Belarus.
They said they're leaving. They didn't say where they're going.
Yeah, technically not a lie, right? So, I mean, I'm guessing this is probably just saber rattling, but I mean, that's what I hope, right?
Right.
So it's probably just hey, we are prepared to do whatever we think we need to, and we have friends. This is just a display,
right?
Hopefully,
like a weird
my
dick swinging.
My guess is this is going to be war games that they play, and then they'll go back home. Or at least, not in Belarus. They'll stay in the area.
So what would be the? Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm sure they'll still most of those hardware, military Russian assets will probably still stay in Western and Southern Russia. So it's not like they're going to go far when they go home.
I gotcha. What would be the point of doing that, of an invasion there?
Well, it gives them greater access to seaports, and there's a history of Russian influence and control over that region. So there's a little bit of pride involved, I feel like, in this, this is our sphere of influence. It's kind of like their Monroe Doctrine, where it's like, hey, this is our backyard, so we get to dictate the terms of what's going on over here, not the rest of the world. So there's a little bit of that going on. I think the only reason it hasn't happened yet is because if it does, the response is going to be so punishing to Russia that it would be very difficult for them to recover from it.
Right.
It'd be very economically and hopefully militarily punishing. Because if they just storm in like they did in Crimea, and the whole world just kind of goes, okay, now you stop that, and we're going to put a couple of light sanctions on you, but you get to keep the territory you took. Like, they're not going to give a shit about that. So I think the threat so far has paid off, but we'll see what happens in the long run.
Yeah, right. I guess over the next 10 days, it'll be interesting to see. See what the outcome is going to be. See what the kind of movements are going to be done that raise any flags.
Yeah, and what happens here is kind of a template for how China may approach Taiwan. So, how the rest of the world, and especially the United States, reacts to Russia and what they do or don't do is definitely a sign of what China may or may not be able to get away with as far as Taiwan.
Right.
So there's implications outside of that immediate geographical area. Because
Gotcha.
the world is watching.
Yeah.
About how, not only what is Russia doing as far as what's their actual military capability. They're not going to display all of it, right? But it is war games, and they are going to practice something. But it's also just as much about the rest of the world's reaction to it, because then it's easier to anticipate what the United States or the European Union or the UN or NATO or whoever, how they may react if something similar happens elsewhere in the world. So there's pretty far-reaching implications.
Right. Yeah, keep us updated on that. It's if this is going to be something bigger, it's going to be interesting to see how it moves.
Yeah, there's a couple people I know that are in the military that I directly served with and that are still in. Not many, that's coming up on almost 20 years ago. So there's not many that I know that are still active duty, and they're kind of mixed. One or two are kind of bored, so they're like, "Fuck it, let's go back to war," and the other two are just like, "Man, I'm too close to retirement. I don't want to do this shit anymore."
Right.
So, yeah, we'll see.
We will see. In other news, I saw on CNN that the Bob Saget's cause of death has been revealed. I'm assuming you saw that as well.
I did see that, yeah.
So they did reconfirm that there was no drugs or alcohol involved. What had happened was that they've determined that Bob Saget passed away from head trauma. From CNN, their article, they have concluded that he accidentally hit the back of his head on something, thought nothing of it, and then went to sleep, which is going to cause your brain to swell, and that's what unfortunately took him earlier than
that was supposed to happen. Dude, head injuries are fucking wild, man. Like,
yeah, concussions are no joke. Like, you may hit your head and be like, "Oh, I just bonked it," but it's one of those things where you actually want to just take precautions just in case. I hit my head pretty hard earlier, so instead of going to bed at my normal time, I'm going to stay up for a couple hours and see how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, and a slight brain bleed or a tiny little blood clot forms, and you go to bed and you're done, and you don't even know. You don't even know.
So
just that quick from something that you don't even think about, really. That's like stubbing your toe, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's been people who've actually done that. You know what I mean? Where it's like they've stubbed their toe and it happens to unleash the blood clot that makes its way to your heart.
Yep. I've seen, I read a story. I want to say it was 6 to 10 years ago. I'm losing track of time in my life, man. But it was a while ago. But I remember reading a story about somebody who almost died, and they ended up losing, I think, both of their legs because she was shaving in the shower, and she just got a little tiny nick on her leg from the razor blade, like pretty much everyone does when they shave either their face or women with their legs or whatever they're shaving. You get nicks. So she didn't think anything of it, and a flesh-eating bacteria got into that tiny little cut, and that was the end of her legs. Gone. Bye. And almost killed her. Something you just don't even fucking think about.
Right. That's insane.
Somebody I know that I used to work with, he had a pimple pop on his ass cheek, and something very similar happened where a flesh-eating bacteria got in there. And it's just one of those things you don't really think about. It's just like, oh, that kind of sucks. Like a pimple on my ass cheek, it happens once in a while. No, fuck it, whatever. Don't think about it. And it got in there, and he lost his genitals.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's just anywhere? Like that he wasn't like overseas or?
Nope, that was here.
Wow.
It was here in the United States.
Because I know that there's certain things like in the Amazon, that'll like specifically, I don't want to say specifically, but for sure with guys who, stand up and urinate into the fucking river, there's like those little creatures that could swim upstream and get inside you.
Yeah, I think one of the most terrifying things I can think of is Prion Disease. And there's a ton of different variations, but the one that I know of off the top of my head that's like the one that's scary to me, there's no cure. And what it does is it makes it so you literally cannot fall asleep. Like, can't. Like, if they give you drugs to knock you out like you're going in for surgery, you won't go unconscious. Weird. It does something to your brain where it will not allow it to shut down and like reset like it does when you sleep. And you just stay awake for like 3 weeks while you slowly go crazy and then you die.
And there's nothing that you can do about that.
There is nothing they can do about it.
How does that come about? How do you get that?
There's a lot of mystery around like how these things happen.
So it's just like the luck of the draw.
Some people think it's related to like mad cow disease. Other people think, if you use those neti pots to clean your nostrils, some people think that might be a way that stuff gets in there, or it could just be like, hey, I went swimming in a lake 12 years ago, and now this just showed up randomly. It's just been sitting dormant inside my blood for this long, and now it's activated for some reason.
Right, needed a catalyst.
Yeah, and nobody really knows those details.
Gotcha. Fun. I mean, this is fun stuff, you know?
Oh yeah, it's been a fun recording so far.
Well, in that Dan way, right? Let's move on over, right? So before we go ahead and jump into the Nintendo Direct. Oh, Dan, what have you been playing?
I've been playing the usual stuff, mostly PUBG. But I've noticed something. So I installed my TV last Saturday, and it is fucking amazing. I have the backlights. I put the LED backlight strip on it, and it can change colors and all that shit. So it looks really awesome. But since we've mounted that TV and I've started using it for gaming, my in-game performance has improved. Now, is it directly because of the TV, or is it just because I've been playing long enough that I finally like crossed that threshold where my performance is, I'm going up the hill on performance instead of plateauing?
Yeah, it could be a little bit of both.
But I think I honestly think it's because I am able to see so much better with this new TV. It's brighter,
the latency is probably lower, so you're able to accurately do what you're supposed to be doing. The latency.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Everything renders quickly, instantly, really. Everything's in 4K. Or as close to it as possible. It's ultra crisp. It's ultra bright. It's easy for me to see enemies, especially at like a distance, and get detail. So
you gonna do Halo Infinite multiplayer again? At least try a couple matches just to see if there's any change. For science.
Maybe. I don't know. Like PUBG, it helps with the clarity and detail because you can tell, like, hey, is that a helmet that's sticking up slightly over that rock, or is it just something in the distance? Oh, it's a helmet, and I can tell that now, so I can actually shoot it.
Okay,
that kind of stuff. Yeah, so it's the fine detail that has really made things a little bit easier.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And that's it. So just PUBG's been your current.
Yeah, it's been a really crazy week. So I come home. Most of the week I've just been coming home, play for an hour, maybe two, and then I hang out with the family a little bit and then go to bed. So nice. Yeah, nothing too crazy as far as what I've been playing. What about you? What have you been playing?
I've really actually just been focusing on Pokemon Legends Arceus. Right, so I'm still actually having quite a lot of fun with that. This morning I beat the boss, I guess, of the second area. I'm at my 5th rank out of, I think, 10. So just going through and doing my Pokedex stuff, man. Continuing to do that. I did download, which we'll talk about a little bit more. I did download the demo for Triangle Strategy. A great name, but I'm looking forward to jumping into that. I haven't actually played that yet. But that is something on my dock to play this weekend. So I do want to jump into that, and I'll let you know next week about how that goes. But that's been pretty much my gaming for the week. Things have just been kind of crazy. Karate schedules have changed a little bit, so we're kind of doing it more frequently, because of how the schedules go. So we're actually there on Mondays and Wednesdays as opposed to just Wednesdays, and which is nice. So my Wednesdays aren't super fucking long anymore. It's just now, split in half between 2 days. So, I'm out of there at a fairly recent hour, but then we come home and we watch our show, and we're getting through almost all. We have 2 episodes left of season 2 with the morning show, so we've just been kind of focusing on that. And then there's other times where I kind of feel like tired, so I'm either reading my book or watching, Parks and Rec, just to kind of unwind. Nothing
just
super
kind of
crazy.
That nice background, that familiar background noise kind of thing.
Yeah, something I don't have to pay attention to, and then after a certain time, I think about 9 o'clock, I try to turn off all the electronics, and then I'll lay in bed and read my book, to kind of unwind that way for about an hour.
It's good for the eyes, for sure.
Yeah. So I'm enjoying that. So really it's just been Pokemon. When Mary wants to play her games, I'll take the Switch downstairs and hang out on the couch with her. So we both get to get our game on. So it's been nice. I like being able to have the Switch available. Every once in a while there's a drought, but not soon. And we'll get into that here shortly with the Nintendo Direct. But
yeah, you're stoked, man. You're stoked.
I am stoked. But I wanted to kind of get through. I saw that we have some Xbox news and some PlayStation news. So I wanted to jump into that before we get into the Nintendo Direct. So I saw that you had a couple things. What's Xbox up to?
So it's nothing too crazy. It's just something that okay. One thing is kind of big news. We'll see how it plays out over time. The other one is just a personal thing that I think is kind of cool. First off, Microsoft has come out and has basically sworn up and down and vowed that Call of Duty will not be exclusive to Xbox PC, that it will be available on PlayStation. So it makes sense to me.
It does, but how much outside of their current contracts, because that is what they said. We plan on doing the current contracts that we have, right? Honoring them, and then we'll go from there. Essentially is what Phil Spencer said. How much of the internet backlash, and maybe not even backlash, that may not even be the right term, how much of the internet uproar was influential to that decision?
I'm sure it played a role. And I think they did the right thing in responding to it appropriately.
Yeah. So that'll be neat.
Because the more people push back on things, the worse it gets. I mean, look at what who was it recently that they were like, oh yeah, we're going to do NFTs. And people were like, that's dumb. Why are you going to do that in a game? And then they were like, no, really, we're going to do NFTs and we don't really care what you say. You just don't get it. It's like, really? You think that's the best response to pushback from the people who are going to buy your shit? So
yeah, Troy Baker.
Yeah. So I think Microsoft probably took the correct approach on that one with, hey, we didn't have anything committed. We weren't for sure going to go one way or the other, but we heard you. And if you don't want it to be exclusive for such a huge title, then okay. I think that was a good response from them, especially for like a business decision. Why make things worse if they don't need to?
And I can't find the article, but I did see that they are also reviewing other properties that were within the Activision acquisition. So it's not just Call of Duty. They're looking at their entire portfolio to see what best fits their game plan moving forward, which I really like that response as well.
Yeah. It's not to say that I'm sure they're going to make some things exclusive. Otherwise, what's the point, right?
Right. Yeah. And I understand that, if these companies, right, that Activision owned, if they create a new IP, I expect that to be exclusive. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. They paid $70 billion for it. I think, they view it as it's our right to do whatever we want with it. If we want to make it exclusive, then that's what we're going to do.
Right. So I'm all for the new IPs being exclusive. Current IPs, you know what I mean, or previous IPs can kind of play in both playgrounds, both backyards. So what was the other news?
Yes, the other news is that there is an Xbox update. It has started being pushed, I believe, today, if not tomorrow. And today being Thursday, February 10th, tomorrow obviously being February 11th. And they're going to add a comma to Xbox gamer scores.
We finally did it.
We won. Yeah, we've reached the pinnacle, guys. We've done it. Pack it up. Go home. we're done. I know it's a stupid like little thing, but it's something that pleases me. So I'm pretty happy with that being included in the update.
Hell yeah. I mean, small things, small victories, you know?
Hey, got it. After the past 2 years, got to take them where you can.
Yeah, right. But there is one more thing that I saw that wasn't on there that I noticed a couple days, I want to say last week, actually. Phil Spencer is going to be receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award at the 25th Annual DICE Awards for everything that he's done since taking over at Xbox as the CEO.
Hard to argue with that. They've been pretty damn successful under his leadership.
Right. So you will be able to see the DICE Awards on the 24th of February, which will be held in Las Vegas, Nevada, where Bethesda Game Studios game director Todd Howard will present Phil Spencer the 2022 Lifetime Achievement Award. So congratulations to Phil Spencer on that one. And we will be reporting on the DICE Awards when that happens. Naturally.
Yes, congratulations to Phil Spencer. I know he's a big fan of the show, so congrats to him.
Friend of the show, Phil Spencer. You know? But it's like, that is one thing, like, even with this whole console war thing, you know what I mean? I've always liked Phil Spencer. I liked his approach for a lot of things that he was doing for Microsoft. You know what I mean? When I saw like how he was doing certain things and how I see him on stage and going about things, while he is the CEO, the head of Xbox, he still finds himself as a gamer. He still relates to a lot of the lower people, I guess you want to quote unquote say, or whatever like that. You know what I mean? He's a gamer, and so he relates to gamers, and he's like, I don't know, man. I like his vibe. I like his energy, and so
you like the cut of his jib.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I certainly do, and like he's able to do that and still be a professional and do things to progress the brand. Fuck yeah, man. He deserves that.
I concur.
But enough about Xbox. PlayStation announced today that they were doing some of their so for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, multiplayer is going to be free for Valentine's Day. Now, it's not just going to be for Valentine's Day. It's actually going to be February 12th through the 14th, so Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. For all of you lovers out there with your gaming partners, jump in online, play some games without needing to have PlayStation Plus to play online. So, happy Valentine's Day to you. There was, cool. Yeah. I like when, I mean, I know Xbox does it. I know it's kind of like, you know, Stars or HBO giving out free weekends back in the day. You know what I mean? And so we get to watch some movies. PlayStation Indie Game Showcase happened as well today on the PlayStation blog. They highlighted a number of games, most notably Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge did another character reveal. They still don't have a release date for this particular game. It is going to be coming out in 2022. And so far, there are 6 playable characters to date, which will be obviously the 4 Turtles, Donatello, Michelangelo, Leonardo, and Raphael. We did get an April O'Neil reveal last year, I believe, for the game, which is pretty cool. And then today they showcased Master Splinter. So this game is I don't know if it's an actual sequel or if it's a spiritual successor, but it is following the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 arcade style. So it's going to be that, you know, arcadey brawler. Looks really fucking cool. I liked the look of it, and the feel of it just completely reminds me of that. And I think Ninja Turtles 3 as well. But as soon as that comes out, I'm fucking jumping on that, you know? And who knows, they might put that on Game Pass and we'll have to go brawling.
I'm down.
They did showcase some Hello Neighbor 2, Samurai Gun 2, Salt and Sacrifice, and Post Void, and Animal Well, which is a survival horror pixel art 2D game. But so some of the indies, you know, I'll keep an eye on. But the other one was Moss Book 2. More details were announced on there because they've already revealed that particular game. That they're going to be building on a sense of the outsized scale, putting you in larger areas, more grand, you know, area like foliage and stuff like that, because you're in a forest. If you haven't played it, It is on the Oculus. It is on PlayStation. I recommend it. It's actually one of my favorite games on VR, and I'm very excited about Moss Book 2. They're going to be doing an expansive multi-dimensional puzzles, platforming challenges, and you will be able to revisit areas for hidden collectibles. Play Moss.
So I have not played that. Is it... for those of us that get motion sickness in some VR games, is it friendly for that?
It is friendly. So you're playing as a spirit that helps Moss. So the controls are controlling the mouse. You are not the mouse. So it's kind of like a top-down type, like it's. I don't want to say like a 2D, right? But it's like a platformer that you're controlling the mouse.
Okay, so it's not smooth locomotion from a first-person perspective,
right?
Got it. Yeah, that's one of the types of VR games that really mess with me. I have a real hard time playing them.
This one will be incredibly friendly for you, and I can't recommend Moss enough.
Okay, then.
Single player, a couple hours, but...
My mother-in-law recommended Moss to me once upon a time.
Yeah, man. It is incredible. So, but enough about PlayStation. Let's get into it, right? Nintendo Direct happened on February 9th, 2022. As of today's recording, that was yesterday. We're going to go down the list. We're going to talk about a couple things. If I'm talking too much, or if you want to revisit something, obviously jump in. Let's have this conversation. Let's have this discussion. You know what I'm saying?
Let's do it.
You got the Nintendo Switch now. Let's get into some games. First off, they showed off the Fire Emblem Warriors game is coming out with a new title, a new entry in the series of Fire Emblem Warriors called Three Hopes. This will be coming out June 24th, 2022. It will follow the wars that take place between the Time Jump and Fire Emblem Three Houses. So for you, Dan, because I know you don't play Fire Emblem, it's the tactical, right? It's like a strategy RPG, right? And so in this particular game, you control a main character who is a teacher, and you can align yourself with one of three schools. So a lot of your characters are like they're in a military school, like in an academy. And in that particular game, after a certain amount of time, it just kind of does a time jump. So you start seeing these characters that you are aware of now, like some of them have like an eye patch or longer hair, or, they're clearly like battle worn, right? It looks like Fire Emblem Warriors Three Hopes is going to see that in almost real time because it's a more fluid. Have you ever like the Dynasty Warriors games, right?
Where yes, I'm familiar with those.
Yeah, so this is what the Warriors games are, right? You have Hyrule Warriors. They did that for Zelda. Fire Emblem Warriors, they're doing this for Fire Emblem characters. It's actually really cool. I'm excited to see how it goes on the Switch, because I know the Switch can kind of get overloaded with that many characters. But I'm hoping that they learn from Hyrule Warriors 2, Age of Calamity a little bit, because I know that chugged a little bit on the Switch. I hope that they kind of bring that in a little bit for Fire Emblem Warriors. Next up is another advanced game, the Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. So it's another turn-based battle tactical type game, fully voiced. They fully remodeled everything in the game, right? Because these were Game Boy Advance games, so they clearly had to remake it. And what I thought was really cool is like the models look like toys, right? So the little tanks, they look very plasticky, and that is the kind of art style that they're going for, which is really neat for me. I like that kind of stuff. It's almost like when they did Zelda for Link's Awakening for the Switch, they went about it in a way that made it look like a toy, like you're playing on a big open toy box, and that was really neat. I like that kind of aesthetic in a lot of games, and I think it fits really well for Advance Wars 1+2.
I remember playing the original Advance Wars back in high school.
Oh, okay, awesome. So never mind me then. You know what I mean? But it does come out April 8th, and you will have local and online multiplayer. So that is something, if you like tactics games, definitely check the trailer out, see if there's any gameplay out there. I think there is. IGN may have done like a 10-minute gameplay, but it's something to keep an eye on, at least for my recommendation. Okay, next up, they showcased that No Man's Sky is coming to the Nintendo Switch in summer of 2022. I don't have a full thing on No Man's Sky because if you are into video games at all, you know No Man's Sky. It did come out for the PlayStation 4, came out for the Xbox One. Definitely check it out. It looks to be about the same.
Pretty well established game at this point.
Yeah. And that is one I feel like did come back from the brink of like extinction almost. I know like when it launched, it had some issues, but then they kind of re-tinkered with it and then did like a soft relaunch of it. And a lot of people have really liked it. So
yeah, I recall it having those launch issues, so I've never played it. And seeing this makes me want to give it a shot, but honestly, probably not on the Switch.
They might. I don't know if they have it or if they're getting ready to remove it from Game Pass. So
I remember seeing it on there for sure.
Yeah, so give it a shot. Especially on your new TV.
Oh yeah, that was part of the appeal.
Next up, this was actually really cool. Mario Strikers Battle League. I was actually very excited about this one. Mario sports games kind of tickle me in a fancy way, if you will, right? I've always liked Mario Tennis. I've always liked Mario Golf. It's just, Mario Kart, the racing game. You know what I mean? So Mario Strikers is going to be the soccer game. And that is a sequel to Mario Strikers that was on the Wii. So it's been a while since they've done an entry in this particular series. Comes out June 10th. You're going to have some 5-on-5 gameplay, which is pretty neat. They focus on specialty shots, and they really want you to dominate your opponents based on, like, you're able to get some gear that's going to affect your stats. And there's certain moves, like those special shots, will allow you to get multiple points for how you're scoring. So if you look at the trailer, they do showcase that one of the characters does like a air kick into the goal, and it's worth 2 points. And you can kind of stomp the other members into the ground. So it's very arcadey, which is going to be really neat. So the like Hyper Strikes.
It's Super Smash Brothers with goals and soccer balls.
Yep, essentially. So it's like Shaolin soccer, if you will. It's a lot of fun. You can do up to 8 players on one Switch system. So if you get multiple Joy-Cons and such like that, like if you're having a bunch of family over for the holidays, put in some soccer and just run around and just kind of kick on each other. So that I like that kind of stuff. You can do online play, which is neat, and I know that there's a rabid fan base for these types of games. So you can do up to 20 people per club for online. I may skip out on that one. When it comes to multiplayer, that kind of way, I have a hard time sticking with it.
Yeah,
but Mario Strikers, man, it's gonna be fucking neat. I can't wait. So. But moving on, we have Splatoon 3. They did a feature trailer, so they're showing that, again, reiterating, comes out summer of 2022, and they're doing a new co-op mode called Salmon Run Next Wave. I never was really into Splatoon, unfortunately, because it did look really awesome when it first came out for the first Splatoon. But if that's something that might work in your favor of playing or fit your fancy, definitely check that out. They showcase Front Mission first, which is going to be a full remake of the first Front Mission game, which is a tactical RPG that deals with a lot with mechs. Did you ever play Front Mission?
I did not.
I think that was one that I played on the PC when we first got a PC, right? And so like AOL dial-up was still how I got online, and because I didn't want to wait forever to get online and check my email that didn't exist, I did play Front Mission. A little bit, so that's pretty neat. So I'm kind of interested in that one. And then they announced that Front Mission 2 is also getting a full remake, but there's no window revealed for that. They're just saying, hey, this one's done and it's coming out. We're starting work on the second one. Yeah. So they believe in their series, which is kind of cool. You know what I mean? There was another Mario Kart knockoff, right? Like Chocobo GP. It's called Disney Speedstorm. Did you get a chance to see that one?
I did. Yeah, I was able to watch this, fortunately. I was able to sit down and go through it.
Do you think that's something that it might be for your kids?
Oh, yeah. They would enjoy that a lot. They like when I was playing Forza Horizon for a bit. I would just drive out into the middle of the desert and then just let them drive around and crash into shit. And so I know they like the driving aspect of games. And if we add in characters that they know, I'm sure that they'll love it.
Yeah. One of the cool things about this particular game, which I actually may try it, is that it's going to be free to play. They will have seasonal content that you will be able to purchase, of course, probably extra characters that you can purchase, but the game itself will be free to play. It will be a Mario Kart-like. You can do split screen and online multiplayer, and it is coming out this summer. So for those with the younger kids or with family that like racing games, you can play Disney Speedstorm, which I did showcase some of them, right? It showcased like, what's his name? The pirate.
Captain Hook?
No, from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, Jack Sparrow?
Yeah, thank you. So Jack Sparrow, he's a racer as one of them that you see in the trailer. All the racers have special moves. So it feels like it is going to be like Mario Kart and as well as the Chocobo GP, because I know Chocobo GP, which is the Final Fantasy Mario Kart, like they have special moves for their characters. So it seems like it kind of moves toward that a little bit to give it some distance from Mario Kart, but it's still Mario Kart. So I'll test it out. It's free to play. So, what's the worst that's going to happen? I waste a couple hours on a day and decide it's not for me. They did showcase that Star Wars Force Unleashed is coming to the Nintendo Switch. You can do button or motion controls updated for the Wii. Will be coming out April 20th. That one was kind of one of the weaker announcements. I know that they did this following the KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic game coming to the Switch, which I was more excited about that one than Star Wars Force Unleashed. I've already played those games, and while they're fun, especially for newbies, it doesn't look like they're doing a whole lot to it.
No, it definitely did not look like anything was. The graphics even look like they're still from the Wii.
Yeah, so they're definitely just porting it over. But there is a game that is coming over that's also a port that I believe I am going to just fucking buy anyway, and that's going to be the Assassin's Creed Ezio trilogy.
Wow, color me shocked.
Right?
You're gonna get it.
Who would have fucking known, right? I hope that's on your bingo card because, boom, you just got it. So Assassin's Creed Ezio trilogy, of course, it's going to have the 3 games from Ezio's story. You have Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Assassin's Creed Revelations. It will include all the DLC for all those games, which was just a couple extra missions for a lot of them. It's going to be HD Rumble, so you're going to be able to feel it as you're being assassinated, or as you're assassinating, I guess. They will have touchscreen controls, I'm assuming for the map and certain things. But what I thought was really cool, I meant to check this out because I did buy it on the PlayStation 4, is that there's 2 short films included. So this will include Assassin's Creed Lineage, which follows Ezio's father, which is so it's a prequel movie, I think about half hour, 45 minutes long. It's to Assassin's Creed 2. It plays almost directly into it, which is really neat. And then they're going to have Assassin's Creed Ember, which is the animated epilogue to Ezio's story, which is fan-fucking-tastic. Like, I love Ezio. I love this particular set of games. And to be able to get like essentially a complete package on the go is really cool. And when they showed the trailer, it didn't look that bad. You know what I mean? It looked like PS3, Xbox 360. So
yeah, it did. It did.
So I'm excited about it. I will probably pick that up when it comes out on February 17th, which is in a week. So we'll see. I mean, I don't think they're gonna have any like crazy pre-order ones. So depending on what's coming out, because I have to look at my list, I may put that off a little bit, but I will get it on the Switch because I would love to play it on the go. Then they did SD Gundam Battle Alliance. That one, I've never been a fan of the SD Gundam series. It's really just like chibi. What I actually did like about this one is that they don't give them personalities. They are treating them like robots, as opposed to the other SD ones that made them look like chibi, personalized, humanoid type robots. So never mind that one so much. They did showcase the Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers edition. That fucking blew my mind. I'm so goddamn excited for this one, man. I'm so fucking pumped. And I'll tell you why, right? It's a remastered PlayStation 1 game. I remember playing this. I remember, right, in the age of internet where we still had dial-up because we were poor as shit. We didn't have the DSL at the moment that everybody else did. So when I was able to get on there, I wasted so much fucking ink on our printer because I found a walkthrough, a text-based walkthrough for this game, right? It was kind of like a wiki page, essentially. And I printed out.
You didn't buy the Brady Games guide?
They didn't have it. I couldn't find it anywhere.
Oh.
So I think somebody had it and then just typed it all out, right, in like a forum, and I printed it out, and it ended up being like 60-something pages.
Holy shit. Dude, was it on one of those old printers where it's just one really long piece of paper with the
I wish.
With the stuff on the side?
I wish, because I think I did lose a page, so I had to figure it out at a certain point. But that was one like I had those like the binder clips attached to it, so I was like, these pages aren't fucking going anywhere. And I would highlight certain things. I'd make little notes on it, like this is where I last stopped. This is my save point on this date or whatever. So when I went back, I could figure out where I was at.
Dude, I feel like that's something that actors do with their copy of the script.
Yeah. I'm sure they do, but that's how you get the coffee stain, like the mug on the cover. Sure. So I loved Chrono Cross. Now I will say that I didn't actually play Chrono Trigger until much, much later, right? When that was like a Super Nintendo game that is considered one of the best Super Nintendo games. This is supposed to be the lesser sequel to it, but I fucking loved it, man. And I think what it was is like this was one of the first games that I ever played that had time travel in it, which is funny because Chrono Trigger has time travel in it. So this was one of those things where you play as a main character and you go through like this whirlpool, right? The maelstrom on a ship, and you get put into a world that's in a different time, so you're completely out of your element at that point, right? Because I think you're the main character who like it's a oceanside village, and that's you go out to sea, and then you get sucked in, and then you're somewhere completely different. Everything's changed, and you meet all these crazy cast of characters. I'm really fucking pumped about this. Now, I do believe that it's also coming out on the other consoles, so we'll see if I actually get it on the Switch or not. But I'm getting this collection regardless, right? So again, it's the remastered, not a remake. So it's just high res. So think of it like Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9 that they did on the Xbox and on the PlayStation. So it was the original. So, you got faster frame rates. You can tell that the models have been high res, so it doesn't look quite like they belong in the backgrounds at that point. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm still going to be in it. So that's part of it. They enhanced the soundtrack. So I'm very excited about that as well. You can do this thing where you can turn off enemy encounters. So it's kind of like Final Fantasy where you can turn off the encounters, or you can times through your speed, or always have your limit breaks ready to go. They're going to be doing something similar to this for the Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers edition. They're also including the visual novel style original side story to Chrono Cross, which leads in, it's going to be leading into this particular game called Radical Dreamers. It's a text-based game that was released for Satellaview, which was only on the Super Famicom. So the Japanese version of the Super Nintendo in 1996. So that'll be kind of cool. I like that kind of stuff, right? It's like Zorp or whatever the fuck it was, and that'll be coming out April 7th. So if you're looking for a good RPG and you don't mind old
Radical Dreamers edition,
hell yeah. The next game I'm really excited about is Kirby and the Forgotten Land. What did you think about that one?
Dude, I haven't played a Kirby game in like 20-ish years, probably, is my guess.
Probably since the Game Boy or NES.
That would be my best guess.
Yeah.
But I remember enjoying them, and it looks like this is going to be a lot of fun as a platformer.
Right. I like it. I liked Planet Robobot on the 3DS, but it's nice that they're bringing like a. This one reminds me of like Super Mario Odyssey that they did on the Switch on the first year that it came out, like the launch title. So this looks like that. I showed it to Mary, and she even said like this looks like an ode to The Last of Us, right? So essentially, Kirby and the Forgotten Land is Earth. If you look at the trailer, right? So he's in a weird world, but it's Earth, but it's a dystopian Earth, right? So like foliage is taken over and shit's just everywhere. So they showcase this with a new mode called the Mouthful mode, which is really funny. So as you know, because you played Kirby, when you absorb enemies, you can kind of take on their power.
Right.
Well, being here on Earth, he can't take on the power of certain things, but he tries to absorb him anyway. And so the Mouthful mode is him stretched over random inanimate objects such as a car or a vending machine or just like even water. Like I thought it was really cool. And if you watch the trailer again, because I actually didn't notice it the first time, when he he puts his mouth on a faucet and he just inhales all the water, right? So he's like a water balloon. If you see him wandering around, you can see the water swishing around inside of his body.
Oh, I missed that detail.
Yeah. So it's again, I noticed because I was showing Mary the trailer and I was like, that's really fucking cool. So it was like a second guess when I focused on it because, you know, when I'm watching these, I'm actually typing out a lot of stuff. So there's certain details that I miss. And it was really cool to go back and see that. So I'm really excited about Kirby and the Forgotten Land too. I think Kirby was one of those underrated games, you know, in my gaming career.
It's definitely Kirby is a character that is not immediately thought of, even when I think about Nintendo specific gaming.
Right, because you think of like all the Mario. They have so many Mario games. You think primarily Mario. If you want an adventure game, Zelda. You know, you want a fighting game, Super Smash. You know what I mean? But which is funny because Kirby is in Super Smash Brothers. He's actually one of the most prominent characters in that particular series. But you don't think of him as, you know, like I guess it would be the same thing with Samus. You don't think of Metroid almost right away.
That's true too.
So, but Kirby and the Forgotten Land, that's going to be a really cool one, March 25th. And what I like about that too is like when you save, because you're out to save the Waddle Dees, the little orange guys that look like Kirby. As you save them, you are rebuilding their town, which will then give you more unlockables, more shop items, and just like any other, you know, story-based or RPG type game. I wanted to touch on MLB The Show 22. I'm not a baseball fan, right? I don't play the baseball games, but I have been watching this because MLB The Show was a PlayStation exclusive. They own that studio that makes that game. So I know that they lost the rights, or I forget like the particular verbiage I want to use for it. But essentially, they no longer make the game exclusively for PlayStation, but they're still a PlayStation studio. So I think last year they put the game out on Xbox as well, and it did really well. This year they're putting it on all the consoles, including the Nintendo Switch. It's still going to have the Road to the Show. It's still going to have the Diamond Dynasty. It's still going to be able to do Exhibition, which you'll be able to do with a single Joy-Con controller on the Switch. But what I actually really thought was cool about this particular thing is that they're going to be doing cross progression that you can use on any platform that has MLB 22, whether that be the Switch, the PlayStation, the Xbox, or if they bring it to PC. You know what I mean? I'm assuming if they allow it
to cool feature.
Yeah, if they stream it on Stadia, if Stadia is still a fucking thing, you know what I mean? You're going to be able to like play this on the Switch on the go, right? That's kind of like how I was saying right before the show. I'm at work. I'm going to play yada yada. I'm going to go home. I'm going to upload it over to my Xbox or my PlayStation. I'm going to play it on my fucking fancy ass TV now on my 4K console. I find that really fucking cool. And I would hope that more games, especially like sports games, take to this, you know?
Yeah, it would. If a lot of games adopt this as a feature, it allows traditional gaming platforms to turn it basically into mobile gaming.
Right. Which will be really fucking neat. Now you'll have to buy 2 copies, But you're not going to think about it that way. You're going to be like, great, I bought this for my primary console, and now I'm going to get it for the Switch so I can take it with me. You know what I mean? It's like a companion piece that you're not going to think twice about paying for. And we pay money on dumb shit all the time. So who cares if you get 2 copies of the game on 2 consoles? Because you'll be able to do things both ways.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool
feature for a lot of games. A lot of games would benefit from that, but
they really would. So
whether it catches on, we'll see.
Right? Only time will tell.
It would be an interesting way for them to increase revenue on a game, though.
Oh yeah, that's also what I was thinking too. I was like, if you're buying 2 copies at $60 to $70, right? Because depending on if you're buying it for the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One, it's gonna be $60, right? But chances are, if you're buying it for the Xbox Series X or the PS5, that's going to be a $70 game. Switch games, they vary anywhere from $40 to $60. I'm assuming this one's going to be a $60 game as well. So you're paying like $120 to $130 for 2 copies of the game. You're almost like telling people, or you're almost like doubling up a lot of your purchases based on that alone. Which is, that's what's going to be interesting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I can't imagine most people would do that. But even if you got 10, 15% of people that were on board for something like that, that's still a pretty good chunk in revenue boost.
Yeah. So I will be keeping an eye on this one. I do, like I said, I like to pay attention to certain games, even if I don't play them. You know what I mean? Call of Duty, I don't play, but I fucking pay attention to that. Certain sports games, I don't play Madden, right? But I pay attention to what the news is. But they also showed off Kingdom Hearts Integrum Masterpiece for Cloud. These fucking names for this series. So it's every entry in the Kingdom Hearts series is coming to cloud streaming for the Switch. So if you haven't played it and you like RPGs that are Final Fantasy and Disney, and you want to play it, just make sure like you have an Ethernet cable that you can plug into your dock, because that will make for a better experience as opposed to playing in handheld mode. But it's going to have Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 plus 2.5 remix, HD 2.8 final chapter prologue, Kingdom Hearts 3 remind, and all the other shit inside of it. I'm not even about to go into it because it's the series is so kind of muddled, just like the naming.
Yep.
But it is a fun game. That actually is out today. So February 10th.
Oh, February 10th. There it is.
Another one that I was actually pretty excited about. And this is something that I don't think I got a chance to talk about last week, because it feels like mascot platformers are making a comeback. Right? So Nintendo showcased Klonoa Fantasy Reverie, thank you, series, which will have the 1 and 2 included, which is really cool. It looks neat. Like, I'm all for these platformer games. You know what I mean? I'm going through on the Xbox right now, playing Spyro, playing the Reignited Trilogy, which I fucking love. You know,
so you're doing that on Xbox.
Yeah, because I already platinumed when it first came out on the PlayStation.
Oh, well then.
And I wanted to, my nephew was talking shit about beating me in the monthly achievements.
Oh, so you have to put him in his place, of course. No, yeah. Say no more, fam.
So it was on sale, and then I bought it, and then I went through it, and he's like, I can't catch up to you. I was like, that's what you get for talking shit, you know? So, and which is funny, because that's also on the Switch. I may actually buy that trilogy again on the Switch so I can play Spyro on the go.
You're the guy that buys multiple copies of the same game.
Yep. Dude, if you love something, go for it. Like I said, with the Assassin's Creed, right? I own the Ezio. I own those games individually on the PlayStation 3. I bought the Ezio trilogy on the PS4. I will eventually, it is inevitable that I buy that on the Xbox. And now I'm going to get it on the Switch.
Fuck it. You're already this deep.
You know what I mean? Support what you love. And I love Ezio. So Klonoa, anyway, that's coming out July 8th for the Switch. It will be coming out to a to-be-determined date for the PS4, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. So this actually may be something I get on July 8th for the Switch, play through it, and then when it comes out to the other consoles, depending on if it's fun or not, I'll go for my achievements and trophies and get it on that one.
You're an animal.
Yeah. After that, Portal Companion Collection was shown off. I've never actually played the Portal games. I felt like that was just a game that I missed the train on. So I don't know if I want.
They're pretty creative puzzle games.
Would you recommend it?
Yeah, I would recommend at least giving it a shot. Even this late into its history, it's worth giving it a go. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, which is what I like about this is because I know. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Portal was like a PC game, correct?
Yes.
And then they brought it over to like the Xbox and PlayStation through the orange box only, which came with like Team Fortress.
Yeah, that's how it started.
So that's the only way you could get it. And I know that the orange box is kind of pricey these days. So it's kind of cool that they're bringing Portal and Portal 2 in a collection for the Switch this year. You know what I mean? So it's not, I don't have to go out and get a bundled box for another game that I necessarily don't want to play. So I don't know if you recommend it. It may be something I look into. They don't have a hard date for it other than this year. So who knows? I may get it and play a level here and there.
If you see it on sale or something like that, I'd say I would recommend it. If
cool.
you do enjoy puzzle games?
Oh yeah.
Do you enjoy physics-based games?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's physics-based, but there is definitely a strong element.
I mean, I know of it. I know that you got the portals, and you have to like try to figure out like if I shoot this box through this portal, it's going to come out that other portal and hit the switch. So you're using the like you said, physics. You're using gravity, and motion.
Yep.
To do it. So it's almost like the Turing test.
Yeah, kind of.
So that's what I liken it to. So, and I like that game. So I think I'll probably check this out.
Do it up.
The next game that they had, which is really fucking neat for a myriad of reasons, right? Live Alive. Sound crazy name, right? But this game is being remade from pixel art to HD 2D. So it's going to be just like, Octopath Traveler. It's going to be like, Triangle Strategy. It's going to be like the Elysium Chronicles, right? I love this art style so fucking much. It's so fucking neat. So this game was previously unreleased outside of Japan. That's the only place you can get it unless you import it. And again, it's going to be like a Japanese only game. Was never, localized in any way. It's going to be 7 chapters, all uniquely different, and you can play in any order of your choosing. But the orders that they have are Prehistory, which you play a tribesman that comes of age. The Wild West, which you're a bounty hunted wanderer, and you must fight for your life, so which looked interesting in the trailer. The Imperial China, which is Kung Fu Master is in search of a worthy successor. You have Twilight of Edo, Japan, which is a shinobi undertakes an important mission. Present day, a martial artist strives to become the strongest ever. The near future, you're a youth with the psychic powers to fight evil. And the distant future, you're a newly built robot, which is swept up in a space tragedy. So it's almost like you have different vignettes, right? It's like an anthology almost in this game. Done in gorgeous art style, which will be coming out July 22nd. And I'm very excited about it. I like to support these types of games when they haven't been released outside of Japan. You know what I mean? Because they didn't think that they would do well outside. And so I like to get my hands on those just to support that so we can get more crazy type games like that.
I had never even heard of this game.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame you because, again, it wasn't coming here. It didn't go to Europe. It was Japan only. There's a lot of games in Japan that they came out with that did well. I mean, I know Switch brought over a couple detective games that were never released over here or outside of Japan.
I wouldn't be able to tell you a thing about them.
So check the trailer for sure. Well, I know you saw it, but
yeah, I saw it. It definitely has the Super Nintendo graphic vibes.
Right. And that's the whole like 2D HD, man. I fucking love it. Because I think that might be it too, where it's like it reminds me of the games that we used to play as kids. Right? You got that nostalgia factor, but it's not just 2D sprites. You know what I mean? Like they have lighting effects and different things that are happening. Like honestly, you have a Switch, download the Triangle Strategy demo and give it a shot, because that is what this art style is. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And Octopath Traveler is on Game Pass, so really fucking cool. I'm very excited about it. Now we're gonna continue with the excitement, right?
Ooh, what do you got?
Kind of a silly name. They should take Nintendo off of it, but the Nintendo Switch Sports. It's fucking Wii Sports, man. Wii Sports is coming to the Switch. I was super pumped for it. So we're getting tennis, we're getting bowling, we're getting chambara, which is like a sword fight, right? We're getting soccer, badminton, volleyball, and that's just the start of it. So it's going to be real fucking cool. It looks gorgeous, right? Because did you had a Wii at all?
Oh yeah.
So we played Wii Sports, right? So you had
my thing was bowling on the ever progressive larger pin setup and seeing how many you could hit.
Right. So it looks like they completely did new graphics for it, which I find funny because you can still use your Miis in here, but they didn't update the Miis at all, so the Miis still kind of look goofy. So I may not use a Mii and just use the in-game character avatars, but it looks cool. You're going to be able to play globally, so you can play online and earn items with up to 1 to 2 players on a console. So like you and Jessica can play, or me and Mary can play online and still play with other people, which is cool for like the bowling, right? Because they did showcase that there was like 18 people on different lanes that you can play simultaneously.
So you could have bowling leagues.
Exactly. And you can make that with your friends, right? Get a Switch, do like, hey, Sunday night, we're going to be playing bowling. You know what I mean? Something to do, or like Tuesday nights or something. I don't know.
I probably have a total of 18 friends, and they don't all own a Switch. Sadly.
They could, though. Because this is what's funny. I don't know if you did this. I don't think you did, because I don't think you had a Wii U. Did you?
I did not. No, I did not have that one.
So when Mario Kart 8 came out for the Wii U, I worked at GameStop. So I was able to talk everybody who had a Wii U you got Mario Kart. That was a no-brainer, right? So then Sundays, because I worked at GameStop, we were out at 6:00. Most people are off on Sundays. So I was like, at 7:00 or 8:00 or whatever it was, we're playing Mario Kart on the Wii U. And we had 12 players going on there. It was like 2 players per household were on there. And we did full, like there were no CPU, no computer racers. It was all actual people that we knew. That was so much fucking fun. I would love to do that with like bowling on the Switch Sports.
I feel like in that case, you're your audience, right? Like it's all people that work at GameStop,
right?
Or worked at GameStop, so that helps. Yeah, but yes, that is fun. I remember thinking back. Original Xbox and going over to people's houses, and you'd lug your TV and your console and
LAN parties.
LAN party.
Look it up, kids. LAN parties, LAN. Yeah, man. But this kind of stuff is like super exciting. So I would love to do that. You know what I mean? You can play locally. You can play with people in the same room, 1 to 4 players on a console, or you can play with friends. Online, 1 to 2 players again per console. Like the globally, you can either do your friends or you can do the random matchmaking, which is really neat. And I think that this is actually going to be a really popular game. This is actually what I would recommend to a lot of people, such as yourself and like Adam, because you guys have kids, right? You can do the 4 players. You just maybe get another set of Joy-Con in your case, right?
Oh, yeah, we already have one. We already have an extra set.
Yeah, so you guys can play. Like when you're playing the racing game, like, hey, let's play some bowling. Let's play some volleyball. So it could be like you and D3, your kid, your son, and then you could have Jessica and your daughter play, and so it's like a even match. So that kind of stuff is really cool.
It wouldn't be an even match.
Yeah, I know.
I have no intention of ever letting my kids win a game on purpose. They have to fucking earn that shit.
Got to start those lessons early, That's why we play Monopoly in this house, and I destroy them. I'm like, you want to...
Or the table and game.
Right.
This game flip.
So this game comes out April 29th. They are going to be doing a free update in the summer that's going to allow you Joy-Con and leg strap accessory soccer play. So if you checked out Ring Fit Adventure, they kind of gave you that leg strap for the workout. If you buy a physical game for the Nintendo Switch Sports, it does come with the leg strap as well. So I think I'm going to get this physically so I can get a second strap. So that way, like Mary and I can play soccer and still have, we can each do the Joy-Con in our hand and each have a Joy-Con strapped to our leg, which is going to be really cool. I'm already thinking about that. They are going to be doing a second update this fall that they're going to be adding golf, which is fucking cool. I loved playing like on Wii Sports. I loved playing golf, bowling, and baseball, like the home run, thing. So I hope that they bring baseball to this in one of the updates. I'm fucking pumped, man. It's one of those casual games where it's like, you know what? It's too late for me to get into one of my fucking RPGs, or I don't want to play Halo, and get my ass kicked right now. I want to play baseball or bowling, I'm going to do some, whatever. So I'm very excited. They are going to be doing an online play test to stress test servers February 18th through the 20th. You will be able to play 3 sports, which will be bowling, chambara, which is the sword one, and tennis. They are only going to be doing random matchmaking at the time of the test, so you will not be able to play alongside your friends. You will need Nintendo Online membership to participate, and if you really want, if you want to see about signing up, go to sports.nintendo.com for details. So that is something I haven't already done it. I'm going to be doing it after this show, just so I can get it ready. And I hope I can get in because I'm going to fucking tear it up.
You never know unless you try.
Right? Especially in bowling. And what is cool is like when you bowl, as you get better, it will match you up with other players that are equal in skill. So if you're terrible at it, you're not going to be going against like pros in the game, essentially, and just be like, I'm not going to play because I'm going to get my ass kicked. It puts it with people of like skills, which I find really cool. And I've always liked that kind of thing. It just makes it more fun. And as you get better, it moves it up and, gives you something to look forward to. They do have Taiko no Taijutsu. It's a rhythm festival, like a drum game. I never actually played them, so I'm not going to dive too much into it. But I do know that they're going to be doing like, you can up to 76 songs in the game and 500 songs if you buy the DLC. So it's a lot of content. Yeah. Triangle strategy, man. They showcased more of it on here. I know we've already talked about it. The 2.5 HD tactical RPG. The playable demo, as I mentioned at the top of the show, did come out yesterday. Again, it's free. You can play it. You can go up to chapter 3 in the game, and your progress will continue if you so choose to purchase the game. Whether it be physical or digital, your save is already on your console. So if you really like the game and you're really like getting into it and you're grinding it and doing all of the fun stuff when the game comes out this year, right? Yeah, where I lost my place. So anyway, it comes out this year and it'll just progress. I fucking love when games do this as demos, right? Because it's going to allow me to actually try the game without purchasing it. And then if I do want to play it, I didn't waste all my progress.
Right.
I also like when you do demos that don't move the progress over. Like it allows you, if you complete the demo, it gives you certain items that'll help you out when you first start. I kind of like that too. But this is my preferred way of playing on demos is, let me go. Let me do something that's going to be, worth it when the game comes out.
Don't waste my fucking time.
Exactly. So, again, Triangle Strategy. If you like tactical RPGs, I cannot recommend trying this out at least. And the worst that's going to happen is you're going to waste a couple hours of your time and then find that you don't like it. Or you try it and you're like, I actually do like these types of games, you know? So
never know unless you try.
Exactly. Cuphead. They're doing a Miss Chalice playable character that comes out June 30th. I never got into Cuphead. I would actually like to try it. I know it's one of those like punishingly difficult games, bullet hell shooters essentially. So I haven't given it the time of day, unfortunately. What I was excited for, and it actually works out that I saw this. So I was at the store yesterday. I saw that Target specifically had the amiibo pack for Metroid Dread. So it has Samus and the robot Emmy from that game. So I was able to pick it up because I thought I was going to miss out on it. And then they came out with a Metroid Dread update trailer in the Nintendo Direct yesterday, which is just really fucking neat. So the update, the game's obviously out now, you know, so go ahead and update it for free. You're going to get a one-hit mode. They call it Dread mode, which, fuck that. I'm not playing that, but I know people really like those punishingly hard games, right? So you can have that. There is a increased recovery mode that they're calling Rookie mode, which I actually like because I know that this game can be hard, or Metroid games in general can be hard. And it's not even just for that, but it's for people, you know, like the accessibility for games is something that I've found really cool lately with a lot of games, you know, depending on like outlining certain characters in a certain light or, you know, like an outline color for people that are visually impaired, able to see it. For people that can't use both hands, you know, you can remap the controller so you can use it with one hand, that kind of stuff. So I like this, you know, rookie mode. So it allows you to do the story, allows you to be able to play the game without, you know, having an increased hard game. But then it also tailors to the other side of the spectrum where, like, if you want to get your ass kicked, here you go, one hit mode, you know?
Hey, some people are masochistic, man.
Right. So it is cool that they're catering to almost like everybody at the table. You know what I mean? They will.
Yeah, do the most good for the most people as often as you can.
Right. And it's going to actually, I think it'll allow sales to kind of bump for that game too, because people have heard it and like, oh, it's kind of hard. It may not be for me. But it'll allow people to get it. So I think it'll boost sales for Metroid Dread, which, you know, Metroid needs those boosts. It's a great game, you know, overall a great series. But they're also doing a second free update, which is going to be doing a boss rush mode. That'll be coming later in 2022. So we're almost there. They did update the Nintendo Switch Online, right? So they're bringing Earthbound to the Nintendo Switch, which is a huge fucking deal, right? This was a game originally titled Mother 2 in Japan. They brought it to the 3DS. It was for the Wii, so you can buy it. They didn't bring it to the Wii U, I don't believe, or they did, but it wasn't on the 3DS unless you purchased the 3DS when it first came out at $250, and then when they cut the price by $100, they're like, sorry, and then they gave us like a bunch of games, right? I was one of those earlier adopters, so I got that ambassador program certificate thing that they gave us, and then a bunch of games, and this was one of them. So it was really fucking neat, and it's about time that they brought it over to the Switch, because people have been wanting this since the Nintendo Switch Super Nintendo app dropped on there, you know? So on top of that, they're bringing Earthbound Beginnings, which is Mother in Japan. So we're getting Mother and Mother 2. Right, so we're getting both games from Japan over here. Now, if we can just get them to do Mother 3 and translate it, because I don't think that ever came out in America, we just need to get that over here so people can play that one as well. That's also available right now as of this recording. It came out yesterday, February 9th. So, really cool.
Is there a version of the game called Mother, Fucker, narrated by Samuel L. Jackson?
Not yet, but you know what? That could be a Kickstarter game that we do.
I like it.
We'll make it in the same style, like the same sprites and everything. We'll just change the character models up a little bit. But I like where your head's at. They did a sizzle reel, which showed Zombie Army 4, Getsu Fuma Den, Demon Slayer, Lego Brawls, which looks like a Lego Super Smash Brothers, and 2 Point Canvas, which looks like a crazy Sims. But then they finally did Mario Kart 8 Deluxe update. This is really fucking cool, right? Did you guys pick up Mario Kart?
Yes. Yeah, we do have that. We got the Wii, not the Wii. God, wow. We got the Switch for the family, and then everybody in the family got their own game, and Mario Kart 8 was my game.
Fuck yeah. So let me tell you how great this is going to be for you, dude. They're remastering select courses from previous Mario Kart games, right? And I know we played it, like Mario Kart DS, right? I remember you, me, Adam, Shane, Ahmad even. Like, we all sat there with our DS and we played fucking Mario Kart in my apartment. I remember that. It was fond memories. So it's super cool that they're going to be redoing a lot of courses throughout the history of Mario Kart and bringing them over. They're titling it this Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass. It will be paid DLC, which will be $24.99 for the season pass, and it gets you all of them as they come out. Or if you have the Nintendo Switch Online Plus Expansion Pass, if you're a subscriber to that, which I am, you get these for free as they come out. So essentially, you're getting like the Nintendo 64, the Sega Genesis apps. You're getting like the Animal Crossing, DLC, and then now you're getting the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC within that $75 a year purchase. Or if you don't want to do the online, you could just do the $25 and get all of them. There's going to be 6 waves. Each wave is going to contain 8 courses. So we're getting a total of 48 new tracks on top of all of the fucking tracks that are in the game itself already, which is a huge fucking deal, right? And they're not just all new, they're fan favorites. Or at least, some highlights from the previous ones. So they did tease Wave 1 to include a couple tracks. They did show off the Wii Coconut Mall, which is Mario Kart Wii. They showed off the N64 Choco Mountain, obviously Mario Kart 64, and what I thought was really cool, Tour Tokyo Blur. And that's going to be the Mario Kart Tour game that is available on iOS and Android devices. So it's their mobile game. We're getting one of those tracks, which is really fucking cool because not a lot of people played that game. And so it's breathing new life for these tracks that people have probably worked really hard on.
Undoubtedly.
So, and it's not just like, here's a track. They're remastering these to include the Mario Kart 8, gimmicks, essentially, right? You got the hovering, you got the upside down part of the track. So they're kind of like taking it and then just adding more to it. So this is really fucking cool. So, and you can do these on local and online play. So that's going to be really neat. And that first wave drops March 18th. I'm super fucking pumped. I think I'm going to jump back in to the Switch version of Mario Kart so I can start, doing some more. I've already done the DLC packs that they've done. So I got like the Zelda levels and the Animal Crossing levels for those 2 packs. And now I'm getting more content. It's really neat. I understand Mario Kart's been out for a while, like 5 years, I believe, right?
It's been a minute.
Or 8, I forget the actual title because it came out on the Wii U. Which was a great game there. We were just talking about it. This is what I think is happening. They're trying to see what is going to be happening, what the reaction will be for these, how the turnout will be for these, like the reception of it, right? I've always said that it's only a matter of time before we do a Mario Kart Ultimate, just like Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, where they had like the 75 fucking characters.
Yeah, probably.
Right? I would love that for Mario Kart. Give me every fucking track from every set. I don't care if it's paid DLC or not for Mario Kart 9, when that inevitably comes, but give it to me. You know what I mean? Mario Kart is such a great fucking game for the entire family and friends. You don't have to be good at games and you can be good at Mario Kart. You know what I mean?
And that theory kind of lends itself to other things. Like, are they going to come out with a Mario Party Ultimate where it has every mini game they've ever had in a Mario Party game? That kind of thing.
It's funny you say that because they kind of did.
Well, they kind of did.
So you got the Mario Party right for the Switch. That it's like 100 of their best games, and that does go across like all like Mario Party 1 up to 10. We actually just got it for Christmas. We're playing it. So like I was actually playing it this morning.
So it's pretty close, but not quite.
Close, but not ultimate. You know what I mean? But we're getting there. And I think they're starting to see that people want this kind of stuff, which is cool because it's like not everyone's going to, like for Mario Party or even Mario Kart, not everyone's going to bust out the Super Nintendo or bust out the 64, bust out their Wii. We may not even have those anymore. But if you give us the option to do every fucking track, you know what I mean?
Right.
From every game. Fuck, if you wanted to, charge me $24.99 and let that be for the Super Nintendo pack, which is all the tracks from Super Nintendo. Or, you know, like adjust the price, but you can charge me like a flat fee for every game iteration and let me download every single one of those tracks remastered for that particular game. I'll do it. Because then I'm not going to get rid of that console. And it's like, hey, who wants to play that, that Mario Kart? Oh, that was the best Mario Kart. Do you have it? Yeah. And I have every character and every, you know what I mean? Because you could, like, they brought Link over. They brought the Animal Crossing character over from the last 2 DLC packs. You could do that almost like Super Smash Brothers. Why isn't there a Samus? She has a ship. You can make it look, and it hovers. You know what I mean? It could look fucking badass. I'm just saying, like, they are teasing something that they're going to be doing great in the future.
I'm not saying, but I'm just saying.
Right? I will bet any amount of pizza on that kind of shit. Like, it's very exciting. I'm looking forward to playing these ones. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes in the future because they're going the way I want them to. We're going to have all these tracks. So you can pre-order that today if you wanted to, or again, if you had the expansion pass, you can go ahead and just download them when they come out.
Yeah, you can pre-order it, but you don't have to. Right,
you don't have to, but if you could.
It's not like there's a limited number either, though.
Right. Yeah, so. It's digital, so. I know that they kept saying pre-orders. Like, it was funny how they said that a lot. Pre-order it today on Nintendo eShop. So I think they just want to generate buzz. But I think once it comes out, that's when they'll really know. Because I'm not going to pre-order it. You know, I have the expansion pass. But at the same time, it's like, should I just buy it for $25 and that way I own it and it's downloaded? And if I ever stop doing online, then I still keep it. But that's a future Andy problem. And finally, they showed off a new trailer for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. It comes out September, and it will tie together the futures of Xenoblade Chronicles and Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which are also on the Switch. It's another RPG, another big one. So if you like JRPGs and such like that, check that one out. I'm very excited about it. I like the Xenoblade Chronicle games. I'll talk about. I know, like, they showed off some Assassin's Creed stuff, but we'll talk about that next week. That's pretty much it for the games.
Well, for Nintendo Direct,
right? For the Nintendo Direct,
yeah. So, I had some overall thoughts on it.
Yeah, hit me with it.
Their presentation. So it wasn't anything specific to any specific game, but overall, I was a little disappointed. Which is it feels like the complete opposite of your reaction because you seem super stoked. So
true.
I fully admit that there's probably some bias in me because I'm not the hugest Nintendo fan at this stage of my life. And that's not a question of the quality of their content. It's just not something that I play. That's all.
Right.
So I'm not trying to shit on Nintendo. It's just not my thing. So I will admit there's probably a little bias in here, but it felt like most of what they presented was just, hey, we're resting on our laurels of things we've done in the past, and we're just going to rehash what we've done, repackage it, and sell it again. that was a lot of what I picked up and what they were doing.
Yeah, and I don't blame you. I mean, they're doing sequels, right? But they're also doing reboots, like remakes and stuff like that. But that's the way of the gaming world now, you know?
I feel like they're not trying to innovate much. Like, yes, they are doing new things and they are making sequels, but there's not a lot there that's, I feel, truly hype worthy in my mind. Like, people got super stoked for Forza Horizon. Even though it was a sequel, it was like, this is the best one yet. And it was legitimately good. And people recognize that, as we saw with all the award nominations for it.
Right.
Halo Infinite was very similar. God of War is very similar, where people get really excited about that next installment. Whereas with these that Nintendo's doing, I feel like it's a lot of, yeah, you've seen this before, and we know you like it, and we know you're going to buy it, so we're just going to make it look pretty on the Switch, and then you're going to buy it. Okay, have a good day. So,
well, welcome to being a Nintendo fan once more.
That's true.
I mean,
that is true.
So I will task you with this, right? I will send you, watch the Nintendo Direct previously to this one. And you can even watch the one previous to that. And you'll see, okay, cool stuff, some indie stuff, whatever. And then you'll see, and you might actually be able to see, this one and be like, I get it, right? You can probably see it now and be like, I get it, whatever. They're bringing this, and that's cool to be excited about it. But, Nintendo Directs, they are very hit and miss. And when they hit, they don't hit hard. You know what I mean? It's like Nintendo has really fallen into this.
Their E3 presentation was not good. I remember that.
Right. Because they focus on certain titles, like their flagships, your Mario, your Zelda, maybe Animal Crossing at this point. And then everything else is just kind of forgotten, right? Metroid was amazing. I'm glad that they brought that out, but they kind of sit on Metroid quite a bit, right? It took them a number of years to do this one, and this one was supposed to be a sequel to the Game Boy Advance title. You know what I mean?
I guess I'm a little confused by some of their strategy on things too. Is there really a market for Star Wars: The Force Unleashed on the Switch? Is that something people are clamoring for?
Yes. And this is what I'm saying, right? You're bringing over Knights of the Old Republic. You're bringing over Star Wars: The Force Unleashed. You brought over Star Wars Pod Racer. A lot of these games were actually quite receptive when they first came out, right? But then you also have to think, why are you bringing this back now? You're doing they're doing a remake of Knights of the Old Republic. You have to thank Disney Plus for that. Disney Plus has reinvigorated Star Wars, and a lot of people that now they want to be able to pick up a game. And Nintendo is probably looking at their numbers for Switch, because Switch is doing phenomenal in sales. And I'll probably gather the numbers because I wanted to talk about the PlayStation and the Switch sales and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I'll do that next week, and we can kind of go into it a little bit further. But Switch is doing incredibly well. It outsold the Wii already. And the Wii was a phenomenon, right?
Oh, yeah, so, that was everything.
Right, so we'll talk about that more, but you have to think, okay, our new console is now a handheld home console hybrid, so we don't have a 3DS to compare this to anymore. It's all or nothing for us. Disney Plus is doing very well with Star Wars. Why not put a Star Wars game on one of our best-selling consoles? It's going to move the needle as far as consoles go, maybe, but the software will move, because Pod Racer did very well. Because people, and I did try it out, you know what I mean? It's just nostalgia for one, even because The Force Unleashed is no longer canon for Disney, but it's a great story. It's a lot of fun. It's very dynamic, so it will move, and it will get people to buy that game on Nintendo's console. So there is that as far as Nintendo goes, and I can see what you're saying about bringing old games to it. Like old games are old, right? But
no, and I've said it so many times on this show. I enjoy nostalgia. Like I'm a big fan of it. I get it.
Right.
But do we need a huge presentation like Nintendo Direct to, like, I guess it's just a personal thing. Like, I tried playing Kingdom Hearts. I thought that game was terrible. I thought it was awful.
Yeah, it's not for everybody.
So I guess I just don't understand, like, who is asking for these things?
Right. And I think a lot of this is because like the other consoles did get them, and Nintendo did have Kingdom Hearts, but it was on their 3DS. So I think this is allowing people that opportunity to play on their console that may not be buying the other consoles.
Yeah.
You know, because there are a number of people that I know that don't play the other ones. They're just like, I'm straight up Nintendo. I'm a Nintendo fanatic. You know what I mean? Like, they have like a fucking Mario tattoo. They have like, I've seen like their house and their photos that they've posted on Facebook where it's just like every fucking Nintendo game ever. You know what I mean? Like they still have like their all that. So they're very much into this ecosystem, which for Kingdom Hearts, they're like, oh, I got these side stories, but like, and I really like them, but I didn't get to play the other ones. This allows them to do it that way. You know, as far as like, I like ports. You know, again, the Assassin's Creed thing. I know, like, Assassin's Creed 3 and 4 came out on the Wii U, and that was it. We had, like, the DS titles as well, but, like, we didn't get anything else. This is cool to actually give one of the most popular titles over onto the Switch, so a lot of people will dig that. You know, and then you get your new ones like Kirby. You got the Live Alive, even though that's an older title, that's new to fucking 90% of the world at this point.
Sure.
So
that actually kind of segues into my second critique of their presentation. So clearly Nintendo Direct is meant for, I'm guessing, primarily a US audience. Definitely a Western audience.
Right.
Europe, England, United States, Canada, Australia, blah, blah, blah. So they're pushing out games that, hey, this has never been released outside of Japan. Let's get you stoked for it. But then the person they have talking about everything is telling you everything in Japanese, and then there's a voiceover translating for you, and it's just like, Nintendo has money, and they're making this presentation for a specific audience. So why wouldn't they find somebody who can speak the language of the market they're targeting? It made zero sense to me.
So they did have that with Reggie. You know, the Nintendo America, that president, before he retired, he actually did a lot of that. And at a lot of times, they actually went back and forth. Like, they co-did that. When the other one, I forget his name, and I'm sorry, Satawa, the president of Japan previously, they kind of did that in tandem. I think with the guy that we actually see, that is the president of the Nintendo in Japan.
Yeah.
I think what they're doing is because Nintendo's a family-oriented type business, even if it's no longer in the family, that's their way of that FaceTime. They want to be personable to their fans and kind of let people see, hey, yeah, I'm the guy who runs this company. I'm a guy in the suit, but I'm also here for fun. Because if it's not fun, it's not Nintendo. You know what I mean? You went from a toy company to a video game company that still does toys. So I understand what you're saying, you know, but
yeah, because they can find somebody that can speak English that can still give off that vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know if this makes me sound, racist or whatever. I just don't understand why they took that approach, because it's like when he's talking, there's not a lot going on. It's just a red background. He's just standing there talking, and then they're dubbing over it in English.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm watching a 60 Minutes interview and somebody's describing some horrible war that they witnessed in their native country, and that the interviewer has to hire somebody to translate for them as we're watching him being interviewed. Like, it just doesn't vibe with me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I guess it's just me.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't actually talked to a whole lot of people that would echo that, but I'm sure there's people out there that agree with you.
It's distracting.
Yeah.
Because they don't they don't cover up his voice while they're doing.
Yeah, you can still hear it.
You can hear him speaking Japanese while somebody is overlapping him translating in English. So it's very hard to focus on what he's actually talking about.
Yeah.
It's very the whole Nintendo presentation was very confusing to me.
That's true. I don't know what might be the best way to do it other than maybe just watching the trailers, I guess. You don't have to do the Nintendo Direct. You know what I mean? Like, to get the information.
I feel a little bit bad saying this kind of stuff because I know that you were like, you're super hyped about it, and then I just come in and shit all over it.
Well, you're not shitting on like the games itself, and you have your opinion. This is coming, like, this is how I see it. You're an Xbox guy, right? Primarily Xbox. Yes, you did play Nintendo. We all played Nintendo because that was the consoles that came out before Genesis, and then onward. So I just say like you're a relapsed Nintendo fan. But I think it's just really meant for the games, right? Just you're into the games, you're playing more games, you got the family now, so they're family friendly, and then, it's bringing you in. And this is how I see it for everybody. Everybody has a primary console, and 90% of those people, it's not Nintendo. Nintendo is always the secondary console that is a companion to your primary console, right? Whether it be PC and the Switch, or the Xbox and the Switch, or the PlayStation and the Switch. The Switch, like, Nintendo's always there with their handheld or their console, and then you get everything else everywhere, on whatever console you want. So yours, in your case, Xbox, Switch, mine would be like PlayStation Switch, right? So I really go for like the exclusives, and the occasional one-offs that I've already played, like Assassin's Creed. But I know, like, they're not going to be bringing, Switch Sports over or Live Alive to the other consoles. So I primarily use Nintendo for my exclusives. And that's usually what I pay attention to mostly. But I feel like as I'm getting more into this, I just kind of absorb games, regardless of the console. You know what I mean? Including the Xbox. So anyway, I don't know where I'm going on with that rambling, but that was the Nintendo Direct. That was PlayStation, Xbox news as well. We can go ahead and move on. I know we're pushing a little bit, so we can actually get into what we've been watching and everything like that next time, because I do want to talk about Murderville. So I will just say, please watch that, because I want a second season, and I don't want Netflix to cancel it because it's fucking funny.
Jessica's been raving about it. So,
dude, have you watched it at all?
She said I have not, but she said the Conan O'Brien and the Marshawn Lynch episodes were her favorite.
Okay. All right. Since we're already talking about it, I'm not going to go into too much detail. Conan O'Brien was funny. We watched it, and you know the premise, right? I'm assuming.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So it is so funny. So the Conan O'Brien one, they're trying to figure out a murder that had to deal with a magician, and the actors are playing themselves without a script. It's just they're doing improv in a scripted show, which is really funny. So you have the detective, right? Will Arnett. Right? I want to say Will Arnett. I got the name wrong last time when I was talking to Mary, so I apologize. But he's sitting there. He's a detective, and he's with a trainee, and it happens to be Conan O'Brien. And Conan has a notepad, and they're actually giving him clues. We didn't actually figure this out until the end of Conan's when he's like talking about the clues, and we realized, shit, we saw that. So from episode 2 on, we were paying attention to the clues as a viewer. We're like, oh shit, that's a clue, right? So it's kind of like an interactivity moment that we had together, which is a lot of fun for us. But he kind of dicks the actor over in certain parts. So like there's a scene where they talk about going to this restaurant, like the guy that was murdered or whatever, he likes to frequent this restaurant. And there's also a suspect there. They always have 3 suspects per episode. So they're sitting there and they're talking about whatever, and Conan has to start interviewing the suspect. But Will Arnett, the detective, Detective Seattle, he is kind of sabotaging it a little bit, where he's like, you can ask that question, but go ahead, eat this food. And then like even the suspect's like, you should try that, it's supposed to be really good. And he's like, okay. So he's trying to eat his sandwich. He's like, but you gotta try the hot sauce. And he just starts fucking dumping hot sauce on this like sloppy Joe, man. And it is funny because you can see that people are starting to break, right? Which makes it
I would imagine that's prevalent.
Yeah, it makes it even more fucking funny, man. Like he's sitting there just dumping this hot sauce. Conan O'Brien's trying to ask a question, but he's like inhaling this food with hot sauce, and he starts like choking, and he's like, I need water, right? So just shit like that. There's another part of the like a different episode where they're like Will Arnett is like booping like the corpse's nipple. He's all,
oh yeah, and the person that's the corpse is starting to break, right?
Yeah, he's starting to smile, which is
Jessica
really,
mentioned that.
Yeah, it is so fucking funny. So I will say that all 6 episodes brought something different. We can. I want you to watch it, and I want to talk about it more next week. But Conan O'Brien was one of my favorite ones. And my God, what's his name? Shit. Give me a second. I don't want to like mispronounce his name, so that's why I'm trying to look it up. It's Kumail Nanjiani.
Kumail Nanjiani.
Yeah, his is my favorite one. He is so fucking funny, man, and like he breaks a lot too. So like they're trying to like get him to actually say something personal, right? Because he was talking about like a high school prom or whatever, and he's like, yeah, it was like my date. What's his name? What's her name? He's like, I'm not gonna say her name. like, but what is it though? He's like, seriously, I'm not gonna say it. And he's just like starting to laugh, because they're making jokes and shit like that. That is my favorite one. If Jessica hasn't seen that one yet, I think that one might be a new favorite. But watch this show. Everybody needs to watch this show. I want a second season, and it is really funny.
Okay, I'll give it the old college try this week.
And they're not like super long. They're a half hour.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
No. So that's that's another thing where it's just like it's improv, it's short, it's funny, it's nice. I think I'm gonna rewatch it again. Just to get the views up.
Yeah, why not?
But that's what I've been watching, and I know that I was gonna save it for next week, but we'll talk more about it. I want you to check it out.
I'll do my very best.
All right, man. So let's go ahead and jump into your favorite segment.
Oh yeah,
we get that in real quick, and then we'll wrap this show up.
Little Q&A with DNA.
DNA.
Yeah. So, who would you like to go first this week?
I'll
Mr.
go first.
Boss?
Ready?
Okay, let's do it.
You ready? You ready?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Mr. Daniel Singleton.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any superstitions?
Do I have any superstitions? Not superstitions in the traditional sense of like I need to wear this pair of boxers when I'm watching my favorite team play, because only when I wear these unwashed boxers that are 17 years old will they ever win a game again. It's nothing like that. But I am convinced that the world is out to inconvenience me in every way imaginable when I'm driving.
Okay.
So I know that's more like a paranoid Oh, shit. You know what? I do have a superstition. I do have one, and I just remembered it. When I'm walking with someone and we break the pole, if we are walking around something. So,
like if you're holding hands?
No. If you're just walking with someone, not touching them at all. If you walk on the opposite side of something that is there, that's bad luck.
I think I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah. So Jessica will fuck with me sometimes, and she will purposely break whatever we're walking, around on. She'll go on the opposite side. And so I'll go back and I'll literally turn around and I'll walk back and go around the same side she did. Okay, I do have the one. That is my one.
Okay.
I had forgotten about that. It's bad luck to do it if you're walking with somebody. So if you ever see me walking with somebody and they break whatever, they break the pole, so to speak. It doesn't have to be a pole per se, but that's just how I know it. If you see me walking with somebody and they break the pole and I don't go back and fix that, then I don't give a flying fuck about that person.
Okay, that's good to know. I think mine would be you don't spit into the wind or pull on Superman's cape.
Or pee uphill.
Yeah. No, mine is like you don't make certain jokes, right? Because the universe gets you. And it's like, we're pregnant, right? My boss did this, right? Perfect example. April Fools. He's like, he told his whole family, we're pregnant, we're having a baby, yada, yada. And everybody's like, oh my God, we're so excited. Congratulations. We can't wait to be a fucking grandparent. Yeah, right? Then he's like, April Fools, got you guys. And everyone's like, wow, that's real fucked up. He explained that to me. I was like, that's fucked up. You don't do that ever. Right? There's certain things
a little much.
There's certain things you don't do. You don't even do that. Like I see people post that shit on Facebook. I just want to see if somebody reads my post. So we're having a baby. And at the end, they're like, just kidding. We're not having a baby. That is bad luck. Because in the case of, my ex-boss from GameStop, come Father's Day, his wife handed him a card and says, Happy Father's Day. And he's like, what? Like, we don't have a kid. And inside was a pregnancy test saying, we're actually having a baby. So it's like bad luck in the sense of like, don't fucking do that.
Tempt fate.
Yeah, don't tempt fate because it will bite you. So that's kind of like my superstition. You don't joke about that kind of stuff. You don't be like, hi, Mom, I was in a car wreck, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, what the fuck? It's like, I'm just kidding. It's like, you don't joke that because you just put that in the universe. It is going to tag you. So that's my superstition. You know what I mean?
I will clarify one thing with mine on breaking the pole. It really only applies if you're with like one or two other people. If you're with a group of people, it's nearly impossible to keep up with that.
Right.
So just little caveats on that.
Nice. All right.
Yeah. So, all right. Mr. Bond, are you prepared for your question?
Hold on. Let me sit down. Okay.
Okay. What is your favorite reality television show?
Oh my God. Favorite reality TV show? I don't think I have one anymore, but it was Hell's Kitchen.
Okay.
I mean, I like reality shows, depending on what it is, I guess, because I remember growing up too when MTV first started doing like Road Rules. I really loved Road Rules. But Hell's Kitchen is was one of my favorite ones for the longest time. I haven't watched it in a number of years recently. But if I don't really have a show other than that. I mean, I can give you reality, does competition work?
I mean, those are, I think, considered reality shows, right?
So I like those, like the cooking ones. You know, like there's a bunch of barbecue ones on Netflix. So I like that kind of stuff. I like competition type reality shows. I don't like shit like the Kardashians or like the Osbournes. Although I like The Circle, but again, that's a competition. So I think reality shows and competitions I could probably get on board with.
So I just looked up the definition of reality TV shows.
Yeah.
It is the projection of people's lives in real or fabricated situations, which is weird that that's part of the definition because reality is fabricated, like in the definition, but whatever. Can range from documentary-style informative shows, entertainment shows based on the lives of reality TV actors, game shows, contests, talent auditions, adventure programs, housing shows, philanthropy, love and dating shows.
So any of it.
Yeah. So
okay. All right. Well, then, so my competition shows, mainly the food ones, but I've been known to veer off in the case of The Circle. But I love animal documentaries. Planet Earth, those are my favorite.
Okay.
I like that kind of shit. There's actually one I think it's on Disney Plus that I have to see, or I think it's Disney Plus, but it's My Teacher the Octopus or something. If you've seen that.
I have not. I've never even heard of it.
So it's essentially like a guy finds this octopus right in the ocean, and he goes in there so frequently that the octopus gets to know him and will come up to him, and so it's like he's learning from this creature as the creature's learning from him. That kind of shit I'm fascinated by. But if I had to pick a favorite, Planet Earth.
Okay. See, I feel like that's not quite reality TV.
Right, but you said it was documentary.
Well, it says documentary style informative shows.
That's what that is.
I think that would be more like Tiger King.
Fuck that. I hate that shit.
Like I think that's what that is talking about, where it's telling you like a true story and it's informative documentary style. It's not a documentary. I think that's what they mean. Because
but you also said fabricated.
Correct. Reality TV is the projection of people's lives in real or fabricated situations and can range from blah, 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 blah. Well,
I'm still going to say Planet Earth, and then cooking shows, like cooking competitions.
Yeah, I think mine might be, I've never really been a huge fan of any of these, but, and Jessica really likes watching The Amazing Race.
Okay.
And that's growing on me a little bit. And I actually sent in an audition tape with a friend of mine to be selected as a team for that once. Because how fucking cool would that actually be? That would be actually pretty cool to do. Like, hey, you want to go travel around the world and do a bunch of cool shit and we'll pay for it? Yes, please. So
one of the other shows I really like that this I think would fit your reality show where it's like it's informative about people's lives. And I do recommend this. It's called Chef's Table Barbecue on Netflix.
I've seen that.
It's 4 episodes. They're about 45 minutes long or so. And it's like an anthology. Every episode follows somebody different. There's a couple of them I was like, man, I would really like to go to where that person is and order like that steak or that barbecue or whatever. Because it follows different things. Check that out. That's the kind of stuff I like. So.
Yeah. There's one called on Netflix. It's called Chef's Table, I think. Yeah, I think it's called Chef's Table.
Yeah, and it's the one I just said.
It is.
Yeah, Chef's Table Barbecue.
Oh, you said Chef's Table. No, this one's just the original Chef's Table. It's not focusing on barbecue.
Gotcha.
It's just Chef's Table, and it goes around to these different like world class. I have 3 Michelin stars, and I've done it 3 times in my life. Like those people.
It's the same type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's exact same thing, but it's not focusing on barbecue. There is a restaurant in there that's in Chicago. I will go to that fucking restaurant one day. I'm telling you right now.
It's funny that you say that because I feel the same thing about the barbecue. There's one in Texas. It's Tootsie Tomanets. And I've seen her, like, I saw her, like, they had her, like, on a Gordon Ramsay show. He showed up, and he's like, this is so fucking good, and she's there. So it is in Texas. She's 85, man. Like, watch that one. If you like Chef's Table, watch the barbecue one. And I'm going to watch the Chef's Table. I'll start that shit tomorrow.
Specifically, watch the one, because they're all pretty informative and pretty interesting. Like, the one about French laundry in Napa Valley is pretty interesting.
Yeah. I'm going to watch all of them.
But the one that I am most drawn to is the one that covers the restaurant called Alinea in Chicago. That is the restaurant. Like, it's expensive as hell, but it's like a once in a lifetime thing. Next time I am in Chicago, I plan on going if I can.
Oh, wait, 6 volumes. Holy shit.
It is. Yeah, there's a lot that they talk about.
Oh, man. Okay, you got me, man. I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna watch them in order, so I'll get to it.
Yeah. So 2 years ago, before I started fasting to try to lose some weight, when I was like 250 pounds when I was first starting, and I was focusing on not fasting but just drastically reducing the amount of calories I consumed. I was hungry all the time, and so I got really into watching shows about food to like try to fill that gap. And that's where I came across that.
Okay. Have you seen the Chef Show?
The Chef Show? I have not.
Have you seen the movie?
I've seen the movie Chef. Is it related to that?
Yep. So
I know the show you're talking about then. I haven't watched it, but I know what you're talking about.
That's one of our favorite shows. I love that show too. So... But it's like I got to see more because I love the Chef Show. That's kind of like when I was always hungry and I want to try some of those, like this crazy grilled cheese sandwich and shit like that. And they show you how it's made, and it's like 4 volumes. But they go through different ways. I sent you the trailer, but check that out. And I didn't realize there were 6 volumes of Chef's Table, but I will start that. That's going to be my new thing.
Yeah, it's good. It's real good.
Well, you know what else was good?
Yeah, this show.
Yeah, this show was good.
That was a pretty in-depth Q&A with DNA.
But I know this one is a long one, but I love these types of shows. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Jabberbox episode 30. Thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget that we post each and every week about whatever it is we want to talk about. If you like that, please join us over on patreon.com/dandydigital, bless you, where you can write in and be part of the show and get the episodes early. If you have no bucks to toss our way, that's just dandy with us. Please find us and subscribe to us on YouTube or any of your podcast services around the world and help us turn this into something bigger and better. Till next time, take care.
Yeah, sorry about that. Thought I was muted. Goodbye, everyone. And when the day this episode drops, I just want to say happy birthday to the state of Arizona. It will be 110 years old on February 14th, Monday. So happy Valentine's Day and happy birthday, Arizona.